When you practice tarot, bear in mind that the future is not set in stone, but an objective that will be affected through a person's actions. Before reaching a future objective, however, an obstacle may need to be overcome, which is where the Golden Crown spread can help. The emphasis here is on the life lesson that can be learned, which helps us find the positive in any situation. Before you reach a future objective, an obstacle must be overcome. Instructions. Once the Carent has asked his or her question, begin by shuffling the tarot deck and cut the deck as normal. Place 5 cards face down in the positions shown in the diagram above. The first 4 cards are placed from left to right, while the 5th card is placed sideways underneath them, as if supporting the row of cards above. Reveal each of the top 4 cards, one by one, going from left to right, interpreting each on its own. Once you have finished interpreting the first 4 cards individually and considering what they might mean taken together, turn over and interpret the 5th card. At this point, you can start summarizing the whole spread, a process which should give you deep insight into the situation you are exploring. The past. This card represents an event in the past that is the cause of the current situation or strongly influences it. It can be considered as the root of the problem or the starting point for what is happening now. The present. This symbolizes the current situation and may refer to an outside situation or the sitter's psychological state. On some occasions, the card in the present position may be used to indicate the problem the Carent is facing and what could be improved in his or her life. The obstacle. The 3rd card stands for an obstacle that needs to be dealt with and overcome in order to resolve the situation and proceed in a positive way. Like the present, this obstacle may be something external or an internal psychological state. It should not be seen as a problem, but as a challenge or a barrier between the present and the future. The future. This card indicates how the situation may evolve. While certain things will happen in a person's future over which he or she will have no power, this card represents a possibility or option for improvement. The Carent can set this future as an objective to reach or avoid. The life lesson. This card indicates what your sitter can learn from his or her experience. It's a reminder of how he or she can develop personally and of the lessons that can be taken from what has happened. A life lesson can help foster emotional, spiritual, and intellectual growth. Synthesis. Interpreting the Golden Crown spread happens in 2 parts. The first takes place after the top 4 cards have been interpreted by paying attention to the particular situation that the reading is exploring. Then turn over the last card and, as you consider its meaning, focus on the idea that, regardless of what the future holds, the situation is providing an opportunity for growth. With more experience, you will gain deeper insight by comparing the future and life lesson cards. The future suggests a short-term purpose or gain and a solution for the current situation, while the life lesson speaks more broadly of the Carent's life values and direction. Example reading. The Empress describes the past. Traditionally, the Empress represents maternal strength. It is the mother who nourishes and takes care of others in this instance. The origins of the current situation might stem from a kind and friendly figure who has defended and protected the Carent. The Sun throws light on the present. The Sun card is usually associated with energy, light, clarity, and joy. It could be that the Carent is in a particularly happy place at the moment, active and full of energy, but too much light might not allow him or her to see small, hidden details. The Tower represents the obstacle. The Tower often indicates the need to destroy certainties and beliefs in order to open the way to something new and different. Perhaps, in this case, the difficulty is the Carent's excessive self-confidence, which makes it hard to help others. The Hierophant anticipates the future. The Hierophant is associated with tradition but also advice and wisdom. We might therefore imagine that the Carent is no longer too focused on themselves, but is able to live in harmony with those around him or her. Success, as it is represented in the Sun, is personal, while in the Hierophant it results from teamwork. Death expresses the life lesson. The Death card suggests a sudden, irreversible, and unpredicted change. From this, the carent might learn that a situation sometimes has to be given up in order to gain benefit. The card, therefore, teaches us that a change of direction can be useful, even when it is not forced upon us. Death can also be seen as an expression of the fear of change. You might want to ask the sitter to reflect on it and think about how hard it is for him or her to initiate change. Should they opt for a gradual shift or immediate transformation? Synthesis. In order to get a sense of the combined meanings of the first 4 cards revealed, try to keep in mind the question that has been asked of them, which represents the situation that is currently being experienced and any doubts surrounding it. In this reading, the cards suggest the sitter is currently protected, as indicated by the Empress, and experiencing a positive moment, though one that is centered principally on him or herself, as symbolized by the Sun. A possible objective would be to look for greater harmony with everything that surrounds the carent, the Hierophant. However, he or she must be prepared to give up on certain things that provide security and form the basis of the current equilibrium. The Tower is an obstacle that must be overcome. The 5th card is Death, which indicates that he or she is entering a time, which indication even though content with their current lot, the Sun. The life lesson is that there are ways in which a person can develop, even when not forced to do so, and that sometimes we must accept sacrifices even when the benefit of doing so is not immediately evident. Until next time, farewell.